Hi, this is Janet, and today I'd like to share some of my thoughts about healing, and I'd like to share some strategies that I built for myself on my healing journey. It might help some of you guys. Anyways, and the motivation for this today was, I guess, I've been always a person that feels really deep every emotion, and today it has been a day like that where I felt some of these things real deep, and I thought, why can't we see the things, look at things like our souls do, like an experience, which it is this physical reality. So why we as a vessel can't do that with our mind? And there is this reason, of course. Mind is a wonderful tool to to work on your past and release and heal and transmute, but not the best tool for you to choose when it comes to your future, because it can only create scenarios based on past. That's what it has seen and that's when it got to learn something, right? So I feel like mind is a wonderful tool for you to work on your past, to heal yourself, to break through and really reprogram your subconscious. I had this feeling today to see, I have, I never been a person that journals a lot or writes about emotions. That's what I actually like. 2025 is the year for me where I started to journal for the first time in my life. I mean, I used to do that as I was teenage for like some time. Then I stopped, and I guess writing is a wonderful thing to do too, to give your emotions an expression, which is also part of healing. And that's how you are able to release a lot of things we might not be aware of. Yeah, anyways, I was thinking that, every feeling, every emotion has its own beauty, and that's what I wanted to say before about anyways. Yeah, like our soul, the way choose the life that we are experiencing right now at this physical reality, because it sees everything from a higher perspective, and that's what we are supposed to do. And most of the time we just forget to do that, because either we are not doing the internal work the constant shadow work, or we're running someone else's program and we just forget to pay attention to that. And that's actually the moment when life happens to us and not us, happen to life. And I was feeling these deep emotions, and which I'm thinking like for a long time now. I was trying to scream out, but which I can't. My body wouldn't let that happen. For I don't know, so many reasons, shame and whatnot. And also it is like the city I live in, or the area, they're like, it is pretty quiet, and yeah, maybe my neighbor's gonna call the police. And I guess I don't need that. That's another subconscious reason why my body wouldn't let that happen. Anyways, so I was looking for these places where you could, get rid of your anger and frustrations, and you just can scream out and all of these things. And I was thinking, I don't know if I do myself a favor by doing so, because I don't know how many spirits have been there. And also when we are in anger and we are intentionally working on our anger, or releasing the frustration, we are not acting out of the place of, out of the space of power, so which we only can do by acting out of our heart center. And if we're actually like intentionally wanting to release the frustrations or anger, I don't know if that's a good idea. So I was like thinking a lot about that. So I was definitely looking for, the physical reality is all about mind game, and and yeah, and sometimes you just have to sit long enough to find your own way. So I was thinking, like, for a long time now, what else can I do so that I can actually release these emotions I have deep inside. And it's like my throat is hurting, like it hurts so bad. I don't I just didn't know how to deal with it, and it felt like I just want to scream it out, but I couldn't. And as I said, my body wouldn't just let it happen. So I guess deep inside I was looking for something that would work for me. So, and that night, like, I guess last week Sunday, and that night I was trying to sleep, and I was in tears for I don't know what reasons. I can't even explain. It's just, we're purging a lot this year, and a lot of things we are actually aware of and intentionally doing the work, and the other things are just happening, right? Because the energy is, it moves through us anyways. If we know, or if we try to avoid or resist, it just happens anyways if it's time for you to. So that was happening, and also the fact when you come to a higher consciousness, that's when you also get very sensitive to energies that you are broadcasting that we are not used to. I wasn't really aware of that in the, in my past or anyways. And at some point I was just thinking, why ain't I just doing that energetically? Why wouldn't that work, right? Like, we are also energies. And the idea came into my mind was, why ain't I just doing that, energetically, and really visualizing that like screaming out physically. And that's what I was doing, and that helped a lot. And that was like, yeah, I was like kind of blown away by the idea that that I never had in my life, and it actually works. It worked for me, and every time I sense these emotions are around, and or it is something for me the time to release, so I do that. So I visualize how I scream out, and however I want it to, like work for me. And I see every time, for some reason, if I scream out energetically and I see like it thunders or something, or I see something stormy, and that's, I feel like that's how it looks like in our subconscious, because that's what, and that's when it gets tricky, because we can't see or access to our subconscious, and most of the time not aware of what is actually going on till we repeat patterns long enough, so that at some point we just know that is like for sure. So that's what I was thinking, like, imagine your subconscious is a container which is most likely 95% of our experiences that we had in the past, and it is all stored inside, and we just get to see our we just sense our conscious mind, which is like 5% of the whole thing. And yeah, and I have had this feeling, like really, imagining our subconscious as a container which holds like so much fears and mother wounds and shame, and I don't know, in general parental wounds or guilt and these things. And every time you cry out, or I don't know, everyone does that in their own way, and sit with the sit in the silence, and feel through it, and allow yourself to feel the pain, and know and trust in the process that it is going to be balanced in some way, and it just has to be worked this way. And the universe works this way, and there has to be balance, and either you do it yourself, which is like the clever way, otherwise it gets balanced, but with delays and all of this. Anyways, like also seeing the subconscious as this container which has this which contains our topics in it, and every time you feel so deep, you think it is the end of the world, but every time you allow yourself to purge, to to release, to cry out, to whatever way works for you, and it gets less than before, and till the next trigger comes. And that is another fact how the universe works. Like sometimes we think we are in some situation and we need to get out of it somewhere, and we just don't want to be very much intentional about it, because that's our subconscious programming is like to make it look terrible, so that you will just and you think it is something, feeling that pain, or that going through that suffering again is something bad, and it is unsafe, but it is the only way to purify yourself, your subconscious, and that's I guess I would have said before, like in my past, unfortunately, but I like I've done so many integration work in general, like in my whole life, but this time I'm feeling like 360 difference, and this is and making videos is also part of that, because I am still like terrified by the idea of being seen, but it is getting better, and it is for me, it is also part of my calling, so that's what I am trying to follow, because resisting, we all know it, just not the best idea to go for, because I have I could tell so many stories of my life where I have seen things gone wrong in so many ways. And even the most obvious things gone wrong, and that's just universe's way to show, to show you that you are not in alignment, or that's the destiny part, and it is supposed to be that way, so that you understand when it is time for you to be ready for what your soul actually came here to do, or acting on the purpose, on the actual purpose, so that you understand that you don't need to resist anymore, because it just wouldn't work anymore for you. And so it didn't work long enough when you didn't know nothing, and when you know a little something, that's the universe's way to revealing the truth, so that it feels like you are so close to touch the truth. With this with polarity, with the opposite force always, so that's how it is, and that's how it is meant to be, so that we can, we have this free will. I wanted to say so-called free will. Well, we have some kind of free will, so yeah, let's say it that way. Anyways, yeah, that's what I was feeling, that actually every experience is an experience, and sometimes we just need to go back to the 0 point, and for that we're doing this healing work and all this constant shadow work and all of these things, so that we can come back to the zero point, to the neutral point, so that like we can see actually things from a different lens, right? And when we do that, we are able to, you know, reprogram our subconscious and rewrite the story that we are actually, our soul actually came here to do. And if you are part of the collective, you might resonate with that. Because we as a collective might experience similar things, and as we came, you know, in similar times into the earth. And yeah, I'm sure that this video someday finds the right people that actually needs to hear some of these things, and so that it clicks somewhere, and this is why it works for me as well. And I also found on the right time, you know, when your algorithm works, when you're in alignment, everything aligns, even your algorithm aligns. So you have the right people around, you get to see the right people or them talking exactly the topics that you need to hear right now. And this is how I also have got some of my guidance for myself. Yeah, as our as universe, you know, as I mentioned before, doesn't communicate with us in full sentences. So just have to is like, it sounds so bad. Just allowing yourself to come back to your actual nature, to your actual state of being, and so that you can hear yourself and everything gets synchronized anyways when you are in alignment. And not that it's meant to be easy, and I can only say what I see for myself, or how I think about that for myself, is like not expecting it to be easy, or not in my way, you know. Just finding the beauty in everything, in all that is, either through pain or with joy, or through sufferings, through trauma. Trauma is like, sounds so bad, but I feel like it is it's important to understand actually that everything always works in our favor. It always works in our favor, even though we can't see that in that specific moment. That is actually working in our favor, either through, you know, triggers, or that needs to be you know, come to the surface, and so that you can release, so that you can actually pay attention to and release that, and create a new one that actually that is actually in alignment with you, right? And yeah, I guess triggers are so I feel like in my past I never felt that this way like I do right now, which is like seeing triggers from the universe as a blessing. And I say every time, maybe not every time in the specific moment that when it, you know, comes to the surface or showing up instantly, I let the trigger actually, you know, affect me in that moment, so that I can sit with that. Because if if it's the universe's way to show you that is time for you, that is still there. Don't forget about it. So why not looking at it, right? And if we do that, I guess it is a practice. It is a practice, and it comes as long as the energy you are in or the frequency you are vibrating in. You know, it's natural for you. So at first, definitely everything has to collapse so that the new one can be built for you. And in that time, in this in between times are like really crazy. It feels crazy in every way possible. But have faith and trust in yourself. That's all I want to say. And I don't know if I've said everything I wanted to say with my ADHD brain. But anyways, yeah, let me know your thoughts, and if you are on this journey, I am so proud of you. You got this, and I absolutely believe in you. You can do it. Just keep going. And have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.